I'm really hoping that the industry starts to have really effective conversations around data. I think the whole panacea around big data and people wanting to talk about data without really truly understanding the implications has passed, and we now need to roll up our sleeves and do some work. On the agency side, I think that they need to perform an assessment, and they need to say, does my client actually have a really strong customer lifetime value model? And is the marketing organization mapped to that? Does the client actually have a CDP, a customer data platform? And is the marketing and the media function represented in those discussions along with analytics and technology? And then lastly, what is the attribution solution that the client has? Do they truly have multi-touch in place that's taking into account first and third party? And if the answer to any of those questions is less than 100%, that's where the agency needs to focus, and they need to bring the clients along the journey. This idea that, hey, they're not asking those questions, so I'm not going to mess with that because that's hard work, those days are gone. We need marketing to become more relevant in the business outcomes inside of corporate America, and the way to do it is to focus on these three areas and ensure that marketing has the right seat at the right table and is able to advocate for what we really think from a holistic customer perspective.
So where do you see innovation happening, and where might that develop?
I think really on identity solutions. For so long we talked about the device graph, and we had all these other correlates, and we're using cookies in a lot of cases, but the reality is we need to innovate around identity. We need to find a PII compliant way, a way that does not ingest PII, to really understand at a very high fidelity level, am I talking to the same individual I talked to over there on that other platform in a privacy compliant, anonymized way, but in a way that ensures that we can deliver episodic creative, that we can give them the next chapter of the story. If we don't do that, we run the risk of becoming irrelevant as the social media algorithms get more and more precise around putting things in front of you that are exactly relevant to you. Marketers need to build muscle memory in that same area.
And finally, the issue of the state of the hygiene of the supply side, and we hear quite a lot about it. New York Times had this big article about the millions and millions of bots at Facebook and Twitter, and we've been talking about this for years. Where do things stand, and from a marketer, where do you see things, and what do you expect to happen?
I'm tremendously concerned about the hygiene in the digital space. I think that, as you've heard me say before, programmatic has been the single worst thing that's happened to the advertising industry, and it's the only salvation of marketers moving forward. But we really need to focus on what marketers need moving forward. What we need is hygiene around high quality data that provides real insights around individual user needs, preferences, mindset, motivation. And when you have a lot of bots, when you have a lot of non-human traffic, when you have a lot of non-viewable ads, that signal gets corrupted. And so we as an industry need to really police this. And I think it's going to be painful, and I think we're going to have candid conversations, but there are a couple of prerequisites. The walled gardens need to become transparent. They can no longer say, we've got this, when in fact they can't do long division and addition, they can't provide a brand safe environment, they can't ensure that the people you're talking to are actually people with both pulse and respiration. And so that needs to stop, because too much of the audience is there for marketers to buy around the walled gardens. Yet if marketers cannot go into a hygienic environment with their marketing dollars, then we unfortunately, I think, are going to be in a situation where we're going to see marketing dollars shrink in favor of other modalities inside of the client. So I'm excited about companies like TrustX that have really started to build a programmatic, safe environment with known publishers who I do business with. We're creating exchanges like that. We need more of that, and we need that to be working in behind the walled gardens as well.